See if we're back going again. Back up again. See if this is any better. Back up again. See if this is any better. Back up again. See if this is any better. And it's picking that up, so turn that off. So at least we know we're here. It's working. Reset everything. So let's go back here. A little grip in the front. See how this goes. A few adjustments. Basically reset everything, so hopefully we'll see how it goes. Check my internet connection. It's perfect, so it might be YouTube thing. Let me know, anybody that comes on, let me know about the sound and things to see if it's, I haven't touched any of that, so hopefully it's okay. So
green light, go go go.
See if there's any lagging again or anything like that. Hopefully not, but it's not me, or at least on my end. So again, we'll try this. No lag here, good, awesome. Hopefully it's better. Oh, that was bad. Might have been the game. That's done that, but hasn't done that in a long time. Yeah, I think it was the game there. Just that one little stutter. Let's see if it does it anymore. everything out? Is everything okay out there? Anybody can let me know about the stuttering or anything? Seems okay here, but whoa. reading stuff. Just giving it a test. Hello, everything's smooth. I'm just trying to make sure everything's working okay. It's smooth and all that kind of stuff. I reset everything, restarted everything, and I think I had something running in the background, so I shut that off. But I checked my internet connection. I have like 950 megabytes per second, so it's it's almost a gig. So I mean, my connection is really good. So, but I checked it, so it's and that's upload and download. So it's really fast. I mean, I got fiber optics here, so I mean, but I check it just to make sure something hasn't gone out or something giving me a problem. So, but I get really picky about quality because I don't like watching stuff that's crappy looking either. So I don't blame everybody, but I appreciate anybody that's giving me feedback and helping me as far as trying to get stuff fixed and dialed in and things, or if I got to go get something or do something to make it better, then that's what I'll do. But again, I'm a newbie, so new guy doing the streams. I mean, I've made videos for going on 4 years now. So I make lots of videos. I think I got over 1,000 videos, but I just never did live streams. So I can't do too many because it's just my time, but I'll try to do at least, 1 or 2 a week. I did one yesterday, my first one, and I did one today. So, and I might even go on tomorrow if I have time. I don't know. I'll have to see. I don't know yet. Thank you. Thank you for your support. HMP01, thank you. Appreciate it. But we had a pretty good turnout yesterday. We had a pretty good turnout today so far too, but then you start getting bad quality and nobody wants to watch that, so I understand. That's why I don't like it either. I got to fix it. But I got to work on this setup for my Pan Am. This is for my licensing. So I'm trying to work on it to where it's pretty good. Just trying different things. Trying to find more grip on the front. I mean, the grip on the front is just not a lot of it. I'm a front end person, so if I can't, I don't like sliding the front and understeering, which I guess you really need to be honest with you. I mean, I got to really change and wipe all the old stuff out and put new stuff in my head because that's the way things are changing. But it's almost acting like now, okay, let's start from the beginning. In the old update, the Porsche, I would always try to have it set up a little bit on the oversteery side because as it burned fuel off and the front would come up, it would neutralize and actually get a little faster, but it would at least hold its own until the end of the race or end of that stint. But see, now I think it's the opposite direction because now what's happening is you're burning the rears off the car fast and it causes the car to get oversteery. So what you need, even though the fuel's burning off, so what you need to do is you actually need to have the car more neutral or a little understeery in the beginning, and later on the car will start rotating more because the back end will start getting looser, and so it'll start rotating. So really, that's almost the way I got to start thinking about that, and then try that in some long runs. So that's at least the idea. Because yesterday, the race will come out later on a video. Today, I did one at Monza in the Porsche, and I was running decent. Okay, for me, nothing awesome, but just decent. And but I found out that what happens at the race is that by the end, the back tires they're getting toasted. and the car starts getting ill handling. And actually, with the brake bias, I was going the other way. I was going, instead of the old version, the 1.8, you would be turning your brake bias down. Well, now in the new version, you're going the other direction because you're trying to limit the back tires of what they have to do and increase the wear on the front and take it away from the rear. Because the more brake bias you give, it's going to make the tire wear on the rear progress even faster. So that's my thinking of it anyway. So we made some changes here. And I show that in the video later today. If you want to check that out, it should be coming out this afternoon. At the end of the race, it was really looking at the tires. I could see some of the issues and some of the problems. That's the only way you can find out is by doing doing a longer race or doing a longer stint and seeing, and then looking at the data or looking at tires and things like that. I mean, that's one way I know how to do it. So let's try. I'll lower the negative camber some more and the bump stop on the front. So let's see what it does. Feels better through there for sure. Great car to drive. Oh, you see, go over the bumps. Thing goes over the bumps like really good. Keeps doing that. Yeah, it just took that curb like it was nothing. See if we can get it, see what kind of times we can do. Boy, goes over that good. That's better. Thank you for the support. Appreciate you, everybody stopping in. Just trying to work some things out. I just restarted everything and checked my internet service, and it's really good. So might be YouTube. I don't know. I did have something running in the background, so I shut it off. Out in the gray. Off-roading a little bit, but no big deal. Mow the grass. Not too far off my time, so near my Delta, even with a couple mess ups. One more lap. Turn the brakes down a little bit for one lap, see how it works. That blew it. That was a good lap too. Could have been better. That's that last corner up too.
Well done, mate. Nice little fastest lap.
Made some mistakes on that one, but it still feels better. Oh, hello everybody. Yeah, I put yesterday's stream, I put the roughed in setups that we were working on, I put them in the description of that video. So if anybody wants to see those different cars, I had all different cars, like 4 or 5 different cars at different places, and so but yeah, let's see about the setup. I mean, not bad. Maybe lower this down a little bit. Tire pressure. Not too bad there. Let's look at the wear and see what that looks like. I got light graining on the front, but I was sliding a little bit. Okay. So that tells me that. Let's see, that's all even. That's all even. That's close. See, that's good there on the inside, on the inside tire. That's good there. So actually, they're not too bad. Let's see. Only problem is it's greening, so we'll probably have to go back up. Might go back up one more just to try that, and go up one more in the back on the ride height. Get more weight up on the front. Again, you can't change the splitter on the new Porsche like you could the old one to make some adjustments on the front end balance. You can't do that. Oh yeah, the Porsche is always going to be lively. I mean, it's a car that you have to really drive it. So, it's compared to the Lamborghini, Ferrari, any car really. But even comparing it just to the new cars, it's definitely more lively than any other car. But if you don't drive it hard, you just don't get it out of it. It won't perform. So yeah, that's one of them things. But that's one reason I like it, because I can drive it really hard, and it just it kills the corners. I mean, it goes after the corners. But now, of course, it's got a little bit more speed down the straightaway than it did have. Of course, all cars do. So again, all the cars have a little bit more speed down the straightaway. Any straightaway, which we just proved in the stream that I just got done, but we'll show it here again. But this looks pretty good. I increased the spring up in the front, but this is pretty roughed in. This is getting pretty close that I can start getting a little bit more picky and trying different things to see if it helps the performance part of it. But if you look at, I think it was the last lap. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to figure things out, reset everything, checked all my end connections. Like I said, I got. Let's look at the speed here. Check it out. Yep, 153. It's the same, almost 154. It's the same speed, if not more. It's as much as I had with a 10 wing, and I got it maxed out. So again, I'm getting more speed out of max wing than I am with a lower wing. And that's because I'm getting a better drive coming on to that front straight. That's probably what it is. Which I'll take that any day. I love having the grip in the back. It just makes you want to push the car harder. That's how I like to drive. The car looks good. And of course, Hungaroring is slick. It's not like it's a grippy place. So I mean, you're gonna slip and slide a little bit, but you're trying to limit that. You're trying to keep that, too much slipping and sliding. Let's see what it does here. Look at that. It doesn't even look like there's a bump. It didn't even look like there was a bump there. It just went. They lost time there. You can tell it's a lot better through the corner than it was with just the aggressive. So match improved. It looks pretty solid. A little loose there, but it's okay. But yeah, I got to do a 10-lap qualifying here for, because in Pan Am and one of the leagues I'm in, the championship that they're getting ready to start, next couple weeks, they got to put you in categories. They have Pro, Silver, and Am, and depending upon your times here. So I'm trying to, figure out what car I want to do, which will probably be the Porsche. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use a Porsche, and what I can do, get the times where they need to be. I mean, I'd like to be in Pro. I should be in Pro, but I mean, I don't, I got to prove it, so I got to get the times there. I agree, Terry. There's the grip coming off the corners is what I enjoy the most with the Porsche. If you have it right, The acceleration, the grip coming off the corner, it just goes, and that's what I really like. Of course, you still gotta have, you know, if it's oversteery coming off, then you're losing it. You're not getting that, but still think it looks, like I said, it looks pretty good. So we know what we got here. I'm gonna do one more short stint with this and see if there's anything else, and then I'm gonna probably jump to the Lamborghini, see what it does. Plus, I make setups. So Stu uses my setups. If you know my channel, he was my partners in the endurance races, so he uses my setup. So I was, doing this also, so he can have something that he's got to do this too, and he's going to use, my setup. So again, I got to do this whether I use this car or not. I'm pretty sure I am. This is kind of my favorite. Well, as favorite as I can be anyway. There's a lot of cars that I love, but the Lamborghini is really nice too, so. Feel bad. Whoa, a little bit too tight there. Yeah, Ferrari's good too. Ferrari's going to be, I think, the car to beat, to be honest. I think the Ferrari is going to be the one car to beat. Which, if I have time, I'll jump in the Ferrari too and see what I can do. Take a sway bar out of it. It feels like the rear end's sliding a little bit more. Coming off the corner, it's wanting to step out, and I think it's got too much sway bar. Tires look pretty good. Whoa. Yeah, like I said, I think it's got too much sway bar. Alright, let's try to do one more. Tires look pretty good. Still a little slidey in the nose. Lost time there. Close. Still not where it needs to be. It's still sliding too much. It's just gotta do. It's just got too much slide. And again, that's what you're fighting here at Hungaroring. Whew. Hey, Joe Blow. My man, Joe Blow. Huge, long time supporter, and actually made my intro a while ago, and it's done a lot to help. So I use his fill calculator to this day. So he's been here a long time. Love to see Joe Blow. And mechanic, it's got too much that. So really, I think I take the anti-roll bar out and actually go up on the diff a little. Do some changes, and I'm gonna save it to a different setup so I don't lose where I'm at. But this is not. It's got I need some improvements over this. But, again, this track is so greasy. It just does no grip. That's just the way Hungaroring is. So you're constantly trying to find it. Only thing I think is right is the camber and the caster. All this is right. I think this is really, really good. I think it's close. So, I mean, so you still got too big a difference in the back, though. It's still too big a difference. It's not as bad, but I wish I could close that up So it's a constant battle trying to fight the rear end as far as getting less wear. And again, when you're sliding the car's sliding. Yeah. Oh, all right. I'm glad you're going to get a new GT3 wheel today. That's awesome. Yeah, I know it. I remember he was here so long ago, 500 and 1,000 subs, and now we're over 6,000, which is, you know, really good. But I'd really like to grow the channel even more, I hope. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna go back down. I'm gonna go down a couple clicks, but I'm gonna put the bump stop rates back up. So I'm gonna put the bump stop rate back up where it was, but I'm gonna lower the spring. And we'll try that. And I took the sway out of the rear and added diff. So we did that. So I'm gonna come back to this. Again, what I do is, see, I'll save it to like this setup here. So that way, if I get involved and get lost, which can happen, I still can come back and load this and come back to where a good kind of roughed in type thing is. So that's how I can do that and not get messed up. So because we just did a few changes and I want to try it. Okay, I'll take a look at it, Joe Blow. Sounds good. Sounds real good. Yes, agree, Larry. Sliding eats tires. Definitely. And pretty soon your grip. So you're sliding and you're eating the tires, and your grip pretty soon will be gone too. So that's why I don't, you know, a teeny slide here or there is no big thing, but you know, you don't want to just sit there halfway through the corner and the car's just sliding. That's no good. Plus you can't keep your tire pressures consistent because, you know, you're either sliding, you're not sliding, and then the tire pressures are going up and down. So, all right. Well, we'll take a look at that lap, even though it wasn't the best of laps, but yeah, 153. So that's good. Again, that's more than the old update. I think you only do about 149 or 50 in the old update, and the with the old gen and the old update. Exactly. I mean, you're always going to say, how much slip is optimal? That's a good question. And the only way to really tell that, to say is optimal, is to see what your times are, you know, and see what your wear is. So you want a little slip, but you don't want it exaggerated. So, you know, if your times are good, then you're getting improvement, then it must be faster. But also, you got to look at tire wear, too, for long haul. I mean, you know, obviously in qualifying, who cares how much the tires wear? You don't even care. It's only a few laps. So you don't care how much you wear the tires. You're just looking for an ultimate lap. But when you're doing, you know, a 30-minute, 40-minute, or an hour stint, oh, man, that throws a whole another denomination into it. I mean, when you're looking into that, it changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. That's one thing. That's why I really love endurance racing and all that, because you have the qualifying and then you have the race, which is so long that, you know, it makes a big difference. And they can't go in there and adjust all kinds of stuff. It's not like they can come in the track and they can address TC and things like that, which that's good. But you can't sit there and jack on the spring or do this or make another adjustment or something. I mean, if they did, they got to go take the car into the garage, and that you might as well forget about the race unless it's like a 24-hour race or something. You know, they could do a spring change or whatever, but they'd have to go into the garage, which I've seen them do that. But, you know, it's got to be pretty bad. to do that. Gotta love that Canadian livery. I love it. I mean, I have a model, but it's the older gen of this. But yeah, I got, if you see my models, I have one. I definitely get them. They come out with a new model of this car. I definitely get it. Yeah, and I mean, my thoughts on, if it makes it closer to what the real cars are, or makes it closer. I know a lot of people don't like that because it might make them harder to drive or harder to figure out. I know there's been some complaints about that, and I understand their point. So don't get me wrong, but there's plenty of racing sims out there that are more towards that. And then maybe not even sims if you don't even like that. There's simcades. There's plenty of those out there to take your pick from, but there's really very few hardcore sims that try to always even get a finer point of simulation. And so if the simulation has to go that way because it takes it to where the real cars are, the way they drive, or the way the setup works, which I think the 1.9 is going that way. I mean, obviously it's still a sim, it's still a game, a sim, okay, but I think it's still a lot closer to real life than what the old 1.8 was by a long way. Because some of those wonky setups would never, ever, ever, ever work in real life. So now I think you're going to find out that those wonky setups are going to be completely useless because I don't think they're going to work at all in 1.9. Yeah, and I agree too. I agree. You kill the tires, and that's where you got to find the tire wear, and you got to plan on it. So, like I was saying before, I gotta kind of reset my whole thinking here because before again, and I apologize to people who's already heard this, but I really think, and that's where you got to get detailed on every car. But every car that I've seen wears the rear tires. The Porsche is one of the worst, so that's going to be its Achilles heel because compared to the Lamborghini or the Ferrari, I think they're a little better with their tires by far. Not a little, probably pretty big. Okay, so now last night at the race, it's coming out later today. I got a video coming out later today at Monza. The Lamborghini did wear its rear tires pretty good amount. So again, the Ferrari though did not. So I'm still saying that there's going to be cars that wear the rear tires more than others, and you really have to set the car up for that outcome. Because if you know the rear tires are going to wear faster, you have to set the car up in the beginning to understeer. You have to. There's no way around it because then what's going to happen is you're going to wear the fronts a little faster, increase that wear, and maybe not. You're not going to slide the rear end that much because it's going to understeer a little more. And then as the tires wear, it'll come back to neutral, and the car will pick up as it does that. And of course, the fuel coming off with the Porsche. So you got to find that balance to where at the end it's still raceable and not absolute oversteery sliding mess. And of course, driving style. Hello, Superfly. Take another thing. Take your brake bias out. If you're back end sliding, talking to you, Superfly. My tip would be it's very sensitive to that. With this new update, you're going to see brake bias. If people, from what I've seen, if my opinion, this is just my opinion, okay, but I think you're going to have to do a lot less brake bias than what has been in the past. That's what I'm seeing. Compared to people going crazy with brake bias aggressiveness, you can't. I just don't see how you can do it. You might be able to do it on a qualifying run, maybe if a car's set up for that, but I don't think you're going to be able to. There's no way you can do it in a race because it's going to flatly burn off the rear tires. And then you got nothing. You got to conserve the rear tires. So I don't see, and if you're doing that, if you're swapping ends on the braking, first thing I would do is knock the brake bias way down, or numerically up. So if you're at a 56, 57, I'd go up to 58, 59, go up at least a couple points to get your because of what's doing is you're locking up the back end on the brakes. I agree. Well, I did the aggressive setup with the Porsche, Larry, and when we first got in when I first was streaming, it wasn't terrible, but it was very vague. Very, here at Hungaroring, it was very vague. It was okay for aggressive. I think I struggled to run a lower 45, but it's improved upon a lot after doing this. It's a lot better, lots better. So we'll go ahead and jump in the Lambo. Gotta love this car. It's just, I do love it. So I've always been a Huracan. I love the Huracan. I'm usually I like all of them, but I really like the Huracan too. So let's just see what we got with this, so we can get to another car. Oh yeah, I'm sure I'll do more Ferrari setups for sure. Car is too good not to. I wouldn't go that high on the brake bias. I would just go up a point or two. Go up to, you look at the new Ferrari. A lot of the standard setups, they got 64 on the brake bias. So, but you might need to go up to like 62 or 3 on the AMG, because if you're running a Paul Ricard, you probably got low wing. You probably are not running much of wing, so the back end's going to lock up in a nanosecond. So, it would change completely if you put a lot of wing to the car. But see, you're probably not doing that because it's Paul Ricard. So, again, take that what it is. I would probably go up to like 62 or 63. It would make a big difference, trust me. That's a lot of adjustment. A couple points is a big adjustment. Hey Cobra, how you doing? Yeah, my brake pedals, I could do something like that. I'm not the most knowledgeable. I like them I've had them really soft, and that didn't work. And now you want them hard. I've definitely improved. It just takes a lot of muscle memory, and you got to, but you get them to react faster when they're really stiff. And then of course you can lightly hover the brake to get the car to rotate and do certain things. So again, I think it's a better way to go in the long term. But always in the beginning, it's going to almost be worse because you sit there and you're going to struggle. So you got to give it time to work that out. You see, I have not run here at all. So I have not run nothing here in the Evo 2. So we're just going to go aggressive. I'm going to leave everything the way it is. I'm not going to touch nothing. I'm going to leave everything just the way it is. The only thing I'm going to do is knock this down to the number 1 brake pads, do that, and I'm going to knock the steering down because the steering's always slow to me in the Huracan. And that's it. No, I got to do this. I always forget. Got to do this for Motec. So, got to put telemetry laps in there. And that's it. I'm not going to do nothing else. Hey, James. Another great supporter. It's been with me a long time. Really great to say hey to you. Thank you for stopping in. And I agree. A lot of it's feel. A lot of it's feel because of the one big thing in real racing compared to this, which I wish, I think it has some in this, especially when you're in a high-pressure situation, like you have a big race that you're doing. You can feel the stress in this too. But the big thing in real racing is your health. If the car is unstable, and even if it's fast, if it's unstable, you're not going to have the confidence to push the car through corners. You're just not going to do it because you don't want to mangle the car and have a car completely wiped out. You're just not going to do it, let alone you getting hurt. So that's always in your back of your mind. So I've done it. I've been there, done that. So we're going to jump in this Huracan.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Change my wheel settings here. Get back to my. I have one just for the Huracan. Because, I mean, I got like 4 or 5 cars that I really are, well, yeah, like 4 cars that I drive the most that I have permanent settings on my wheels. So I just have to go to that setting. And then I have one that's general that I use for everything, you know. So that I just have to keep adjusting it to get to that setting for that car. Yeah, and these cars cost are gone up and up. I mean, these cars probably cost, probably near 600 to 300 to $750,000 for a complete car. So for a brand new one, these things are not cheap. So the last thing you want to do, put the thing in the wall and totally wipe it out. And of course, they're based off of factory cars, so I mean, you got to wipe out the chassis, then you got to go. You can take everything out of it, but then you got to get a new chassis and put everything back in it. And there's a lot of, jeez. Not gonna make friends with your mechanics. That's for sure. These cars, to me, I mean, this is me talking to my friends. This car, these cars are almost like a work of art to me, really. How much they're custom, handmade, and the fit and finish on them is pretty nice, to be honest, for a race car. And all the technology that's in them, and they're still based on the factory car. That's why I love GT3 racing. I love the GTE racing. I mean, I was huge fans of that, but unfortunately, it just kind of didn't have the support. So, of course, they were even more expensive than the GT3 cars. And I like it because you got more cars to choose from. I mean, GT3, you got so many manufacturers. And, of course, next year you're going to have Chevrolet and Ford. So, that's going to throw a whole nother X factor in, which I'm looking forward to the Corvette coming in. Hopefully it'll be in the world, in the World Endurance, the whole thing. GT World Challenge, I hope. And also with the Mustang, I mean, I hope it is too. A little harsh. Some understeer, definitely has understeer. This car is a lot easier to drive than the Porsche so far. That's the way the Huracan Evo 2 is. Very stable platform. They've really fine-tuned it. And of course the Ferrari is really good too for a whole new gen car. Again, the Porsche again is very lively and
Well done, mate. The fastest lap so far.
tires are way down. Let's see if we can start pushing it a little bit. good time-wise. Definitely down. Tires come up a little bit. One more lap. Bring the brake bias down just a little bit. Come on, Lamborghini, let's go. Very predictable, but it's just find more performance. Yeah.
Well done, mate. This has been your
That's
personal.
about it. You get a little bit better, but that's pretty close. Tires can come up a teeny bit. How's everybody doing out there? Everybody doing all right? Hey, Clyde. I'm just glad. I hope it helps. You know, and again, any suggestions for everybody, I'll try to look into it for future streams and stuff or future videos. I mean, both of those will still be coming out, so you can give me an idea, and if I can't get to it, I can always try to get to it later. But these, of course, I'm doing this because again, I'm doing a license run for Pan Am, so I'm trying to get something dialed in to see what I like, what I don't like. So there was a method to my madness here. But that's the reason I'm doing this. Of course, I plan to do some races. I'll stream some races. I mean, that's gonna happen for sure. I'm just trying to get my head around. There's so many setups I'm trying to figure out and trying to kind of figure out the way things are. And I'm definitely learning every time. There's a race coming. My first race with the new update is coming out today, this afternoon at Monza with the Porsche. So I hope you all check that out. Again, always room for improvement for sure. But yeah, here again, it's about the same time with the Porsche with the aggressive. I'm about 2 or 3 tenths off. So, I mean, can't really, good starting point. But let's look at the wear. Not bad. Not too bad. No graining or anything. Of course, the one problem is like I said, you just don't have the grip. And again, like I said before earlier in the stream, I think the caster makes more of a difference because so now in these setups you just don't go all the way out, way out or whatever. You got to keep this in mind with the caster. So another thing you got to kind of figure out. But again, it takes some of the stiffness out of the wheel, bringing that back. You still have a force feedback, but it takes a lot of the stiffness out. The more you go out with caster, the stiffer the wheel gets. Of course, negative camber. We just always come back a couple. And tire pressures. Actually, they're going up pretty even, so that's good. They're close, a lot closer than the Porsche. But it probably needs like 4 there and 4 here. 5 actually. Again, like 4 or 5. And shoot, probably about 6 here. So again, trying to make some tire pressure adjustments. We're going to look at the video. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to leave all this alone. I'm actually going to take spring out of the back. Is it too much spring and the car slides? You get that sliding thing going on, and I hate that. I hate it. So I've taken some of that out. We'll leave everything else alone. Again, just roughing some stuff in really quick to see what we have. Wing-wise, now this is going to be curious. I'm gonna again, with the Evo, you take the fuel out, and it only comes up 1 in the rear. So, again, very balanced on your front arrow as the fuel comes off. On the Evo, on the Lamborghini, one of the great things, like the Ferrari. I'm going to come down 1 on the front, but see, it doesn't really make much difference. So I'm going to come down 1 in the front. And max the wing out, which, again, doesn't make huge differences. If you look at it, you only got 0.6, and now you're at 0.4, so it's not that big a difference. Again, they're probably getting most of their aero off the diffuser. So we'll go up 1 in the rear, get a little bit more turn in. So again, we changed a few things. Camber, negative camber, which I'm going to take some of the toe out just a little bit. So got negative camber reduced. Soften the rear spring. Max the wing out and change the ride height a little bit. So very basic stuff. Make this another setup. So I'm working on it. Hey, Apollo. Yes, it's definitely good. Thank you, Joe Blow. Hope you let me know how they work for you. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely good. There's not a bad car there. I mean, on the new cars. I like all the cars, even the older cars still work good. It's just, again, this is like the 3rd time I've been through this where they're redoing everything, and you just got to start relearning and seeing how things go and how it reacts, and new tire model, new physics, new this. Again, that's why I've made so many setups. I mean, good night. I don't know how many setups I've made. Let's see, because if anybody doesn't know, so I apologize to people that's been here a little while or been with the channel a long time, but I've been here since I've done ACC, only ACC. It's not that I don't like to do others. I would love to do others. I would love to do this full time, to be honest, but I mean, obviously I can't, and I have a full-time plus job, but I mean, I have to, I just can concentrate on this ACC because that's all the time I have, and so I've been through it from the beginning, from the beta. So I've been with ACC going on, since it's been out for 4 years. Again, I told this in the stream yesterday. That's why I got like 5,500 hours in ACC. So let's try this. We're going to watch the replay just to see how the car looks. Let's look at the speed. Check that out. Oh, Valencia is definitely going to be popular. Oh, same speed as the Porsche. I mean, actually, it was a little. It might have been a teeny less. So you're looking at this, and this is with the stock wing. So that tells you right there now the Porsche and there's no mile an hour gain like it was. It barely hit 153, and I was hitting 153, almost 154 with a max wing out. So that tells you right there the speed difference down straightaways now is pretty much there is no difference between the cars. Where there was before, the Porsche was at least 2 or 3 mile an hour down minimum. Oh, I love the Lamborghini. That's why it's so tough for me. I love all these cars. I really love the Huracan. It's an easier car to drive. It looks great. I think it's the best looking. Obviously, every variation has looked better, and this is by far the best looking Huracan by far. It does not have a bad angle on it, and that's just my opinion. And the sound, V10 screaming, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'm working on one for Monza, so that should be out hopefully soon, probably within the week. I'm working on all 3 cars at Monza, actually. The Porsche, the Ferrari, and the Lamborghini. But again, all my setups are race setups. I try to do that and drivable setups. I'm not looking for the one great lap, and then after that it's garbage. So that's what I'm always looking at. I look at setups that are more drivable, that you don't have to be an alien to get it around the track. And then I look at, tire wear. I look at a lot of different factors and also performance, but I look at a lot of different things when I'm doing a setup. So, because obviously it's a race setup. I mean, you can't just do one good lap and all the other laps are terrible. So it's got to be halfway decent. So that's what at least that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for support. Anybody, for liking, subscribing. Those are really important to grow the channel. So again, if you could, before you leave, just hit the like, subscribe. Appreciate it. Share. I do have a PayPal account if you want to support the channel that way. A special thanks to anybody that does that. I really appreciate it. Amount is whatever. I mean, it's also the thought. I mean, it could be just a couple dollars, but I appreciate it. These setups take a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of hours. So this is my cardio. That's what I tell my wife anyway. This is my cardio. Get done. I'm sweating all over the place. So trying to, doing these, working, struggling with it. My arms ache. Oh. I love all my sim racing friends. It's not just words. I really enjoy talking to everybody and I get a big enjoyment out of everybody else enjoying it more. So I get a big enjoyment out of that. That's the reason I do this. So to grow the sim community and of course I wish I could do others, but I mean mainly just with ACC because that's the time. But I really enjoy everybody else having more fun. And that's whether you're single player or multiplayer. It doesn't make a difference. I look at it, whatever you have fun with, that's good. They're all good. So trust me when I say I just and it's no fun when you can't even drive the car. It just makes it's no fun. Not to me. I'm sure when you're struggling, you can't hardly make laps, and you just feel like a total can't even have single-player races. So again, I just try to make things better so everybody can see their improvement and get better times. A little bit different gearing, of course, obviously, than a Porsche. So some corners I gotta change it. I can't really go for that gear or whatever. It's one thing you gotta kind of, when you drive in one car, you go to another, it takes a little while to get back acclimated with something else. Start pushing it, see what we can do. Tires are coming up a little bit. Feels a lot better. Of course, I haven't done anything with the shocks yet. A little better.
Red on me. Personal fastest lap.
Do one more. You gotta love the sound of the Huracan. Feels very stable. Dang it, went out. I was trying to save that, but consistent. It's consistent, but definitely need more speed. Definitely down on the Porsche. I wanna, before I end the stream, I'd like to jump in the Ferrari just for a few minutes. Let's look at the Motec on this. Oh, it's one thing I forgot, I think. Okay. Let's see what's going on out there. Well, thank you, Larry. How many people? We got 20 people in here. That's nice. We had some a little bit more earlier. I appreciate anybody stopping in. Yeah, I got to change this. There we go. Yeah, see the rebound's too high. So we're going to do some wholesale change. You see that both graphs look exactly the same. I mean, it looks like dupes. So we're just going to do... Actually, this looks like it could come up a little. So the bump can come up, but the rebound needs to come down. So you see it's all 20s. This doesn't need to come down too much, but this needs to come down a good amount. So I'm going to do that. And then this needs to come up. This is nice here. Not too bad here, really. But this needs to come up. And plus it's only like 47, now almost 48. So it's still, you got room in there. So this needs to come up. So let's go up a couple. We'll leave the fast bump alone. We'll see what it does in another time. And then here, again, this is too high. This is 50, 51 something. So this needs to all come down. I make big changes there. Drop that. Again, I do that just for time reasons. I can't just do a little at a time. Can always go back the other way. 47, 48, and same there, about 47. So the high speed here, the high bump needs to come down. That's too high. And they both need to come down a little. The graph is, see, this is where you really need to change the graph to like, to get a better look at it. Like that. Yeah, I think I'll actually go up on the bump on that. So I think I'll go up one here, but go down a good amount here. Okay. So let's just roughed in anyway. Everything else was not too bad. Wear is not terrible. See, I think it's a little better than the Porsche. It's to the rear, but it's not as bad. So I'm kind of happy with that. Still could go a little bit less, I think, on the negative cambers. One more click on ride height, so it gets a little bit more reacts faster, so to speak. Everything else, pretty much leave alone. I'm gonna lower the ABS down to 4. 5's pretty high. That's pretty high for ABS, but I'll leave. Turn TC1 down to 3. That's one thing that's nice. You can dial this in more. That's why it's there. So, oh, with the wing, I just want to see the straightaway. Let's look at the straightaway speed and see what the difference is on the straightaway. So we maxed the wing out before. Same speed. So see again, like the Porsche, we didn't lose anything. We didn't lose anything. I mean, it's in the tenths. It's the same mile an hour at the end of the straight, and we got the wing maxed compared to a 10 wing. And that was the same way with the Porsche. And I will go grip-wise all day long over less wing. If I can get more grip, that's better. Oh, I love the Lamborghini. Just looks great. Looks great, sounds great. I could listen to that car all day. Again, really quick. Let's go do a few laps. Well, you know, with the Motec, everything affects it. The bump stops do affect it. The springs affect it. So everything and all that stuff affects it. So that's kind of like you're like a dog chasing your tail, so to speak, kind of like tires. When you're changing your setup and changing springs and bump stops and all kinds of stuff, you could have Motec dialed in, but if you change all that stuff, it's going to change it. So that's why I constantly look over it. It's a constant thing. I'm going to just do a few laps. Maybe I try to come in tomorrow for a little while and try to see if I can work on it more. And some other things. Especially the Ferrari. I might take the Ferrari out just a little bit just to see what it does, just a base type thing, but that's it. And then tomorrow I can work on that more. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's all right. Not boring anybody. But this is what I do a lot. Again, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Racing is important too. So I mean, once you start getting some setups really good and you feel confident that it's raceable, then I get into more races. And of course, I'll be streaming that also. But you got to get a handle on some stuff, and the only way to do it is to figure it out, and it takes a lot of trial and error. Whoa. A little bit too much oversteer, but we'll see if that goes away. Again, sometimes you do things that don't work. Come on, Huracan. Takes the bump a lot better. Let's see what it does up here. Feels more stable. Oh yeah, much better. Wide. All right, let's see if we can get a decent lap in. Better. I can mess that up. Still a better time.
Well done, mate. Good fastest step so far.
I need to find more time, more performance in it. But it's, you know, it's dropping couple tenths. You know, and it feels better doing it. So it probably would get faster as time goes. Oh, I wouldn't doubt the Ferrari gets nerfed. I don't doubt it. How do I grind the safety rating to S to 99? Oh, I mean, the best way to get your safety rating up is do single player races. That's the easiest way to do it, and just race good and, you know, practice that way. That's the easiest way without getting involved in online stuff. But that's the way. But I mean, you know, just trying to stay clean and trying to not be aggressive. It's a fine line. You want to be aggressive when you need to be, and not be. You're going to get caught up anyway in some things, no matter what you do. But you got to really try to be on the mega defensive, especially in LFM. But now, like in Pan Am and E Seniors, those guys are pretty disciplined, and they are. That's why I like the two leagues, because especially, you know, in Pan Am, they're pretty strict. I mean, if you're wrecking people and doing stuff, that you're out. So I kind of like that. You'll get warnings. So you got to watch your. And both leagues are talking about the first lap having a stiffer penalty on the first lap if you wreck somebody. So that puts everybody again in more reserve that first lap, where a lot of things usually happen and everybody's bunched up. You got to think long term, and you're not going to win the race in the first lap. So again, you just, you know, especially your tires are cold and you're trying to get things, you know, working, and you're offline because you're fighting people, getting in, you know, trying to find your position, and you're not in the line. You might be in the gray, and you got to just, you know, again, be defensive. Don't worry about passing every single car you can pass. Just try to get a good spot and work your way in, and then start doing more. That's the way I do it anyway. But I was happy with that lap, and I think this setup is roughed in decent. I think if I kept going, I would probably start dropping time as the fuel come off. I think, but I might need to stiffen it up a teeny bit here or there. There's more work to do here, for sure. This is just, you know, again, this is just getting it roughed in. Let's look at Motec again really quick. I want to see what any differences. You always got to check this because, see, it goes back. You got to go make sure it's on the right lap. Okay, there we go. Oops. Put this back up because it was. Yeah, see, that's a little different. That's definitely different. If you look at that compared to what it was. That's what it was. So you can see, and so, you know, there's some pretty big differences. I mean, look at that. See, that's where it was, and that's where it is now. So there's some differences. I mean, we made a change. You know, here you can see the bump. But I mean, it's just the beginning. You know, I mean, so this actually needs to go back up. That's like 47, 48. So, again, this is something you're constantly changing, constantly going back and forth. You know, maybe I went too high one way and too up the other way, and it's a constant down. See, now this is 51, so this is a little over. So this needs to come back down. And sometimes it's also on your pace. If you're pushing the car harder because you have more grip, it's going to change the Motec because now you're pushing on the suspension harder. You're putting more forces through it, so that's going to change also. So it's always you're constantly just chasing it. That's why it's always a work in progress type thing. 48, 49. It's not too bad actually. I'll go up 1, down 1. Matter of fact, I'll go up 2. And then this that's a little over 50. So again, that needs to come back down like that. Rear 48, 49. So again, it's getting better. It's a lot better than what it was, but it still needs to come down some more. 51. That still needs to come down. It's still too high. Come on. There you go. So same here. So right now I'll just put the same settings on this side. And again, later on I'll get more specific per wheel. But in the beginning, if there's not that big a difference, I just generalize it to both sides. And then later on, I get more detailed about the Motec as far as each exact wheel to get it as dialed in as I can. So again, that's why these take so long to do. I mean, look how long we've been doing this, and I mean, it's still not. It's just roughed in. So. Yes, I can put these if you guys want. You know, they're just a roughed in temp setup, but I can put these in. I'll put these in the description when I'm done. You know, when it's done doing its thing with YouTube, I will put them in. Of course, they're just I always put it just Sky Temp because it's just a temporary setup. It's just a roughed in setup. It's still not bad. I mean, it's still good. It's just the fine tweaking of it and getting it, So let's just look at this last lap. I want to see the speed. Of course, I'll be honest, I don't ever get tired of looking at the Huracan and listening to it. I could listen to it all day. Speed. At 153. So I give that, great to Kunos. I mean, you see that. I mean, now, again, between the Porsche and this, it's pretty exact. I mean, they're pretty nails on as far as speed. And I've seen with Monza, they're not that far off either. They're pretty close. So, again, where the Porsche was always way in the rears on mile an hour. It was always fighting it. Goes over that really good. Let's see what it does over the curb here. Look at that. Looks so good. Looks good. Looks very good. I agree, RJH. I agree. But this is like my third time through this, so it's definitely, I've been here since the beginning. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I put, thousands of hours in trying to get all these setups and racing and everything dialed in, and then they change everything, and then you're not square one, but you're way knocked down to where you got to try to figure things out again. Again, anybody that's missed it. On my older setups, the first thing I would do was just to try is take the negative camber on the front and knock it way down. Knock it down to like 0.1. And then go to the diff, cut it in half. Okay, if it's a 80 or cut it down to, way down. Usually they're like 100 or 120 or 140 or whatever. Cut it like in half. and to give that a starting point, and even take maybe a sway bar out and go from there. It will probably, I did that yesterday in the stream, and it did help a lot. So it made the car a lot more drivable. Other than that, everything else is probably pretty close, pretty decent on my setups. Those are the main things, because the negative cameras now are totally don't work. And yeah, I love this car. Love that car. So let's, again, really quick, I want to hit the Ferrari just to do just to do like a base. And oh, maybe I already run it here. It says I did a 44.7. So maybe I've already run it here. I might have. I don't even remember. So let's see what I got. Ah, yes, I did. So I have one that I've already started here. A few days ago. So yeah, this is already started. I don't know if this is. Yeah, this is probably looks like this is aggressive. This is just an aggressive that I've probably adjusted the dampers. Probably did the shocks. Yeah, I think I did the shocks. But yeah, so I already got a setup for this, or base setup. Kind of like the other ones, not really dialed in. Let me take this out. See how that does. Not really dialed in, but it's probably pretty close. I'll take this out. See how the brake bias is so high? I mean, I think that's going to be the new thing, because it's just not going to work otherwise. So let's leave it at this. I'll just do a few laps, so you guys can see the difference, and we can see the speed difference.
Green light, give it all you can.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to get my wheel. Yeah, there. Get my wheel on the right setting. Gotta love this Ferrari too. I don't really care for the looks, but it's just me. That's subjective. Well, really like the sounds more than I thought I ever would. So the sounds are actually pretty good for a 6-cylinder. I actually thought it was a lot better. I love the shifts, shifting and the whistling of the turbos. There. These springs are like super stiff in this thing. I mean, really stiff. So, that's what it needs. God, I love the sound for a 6-cylinder. ACC their sound has really brought it to another level. And the way this thing downshifts, it downshifts really fast. And that's a big thing. I mean, that's really helps in times. Out of all the cars, this downshifts the best. out a little better. Which somebody pointed out to me yesterday, you watch the wiper when I'm turning and you see it flexing that direction. So like if I'm turning right, you know, it's flexing to the left, and if I turn left, it's flexing to the right. That's just, see, I mean, that's just crazy stuff. Dang, ACC, they're crazy. If you noticed, I wasn't watching it, but somebody pointed that out to me yesterday. I mean, just little stuff like that. I mean, that's just awesome. You don't have to worry about whining it out either. One more lap.
Well, mate, the fastest step so far.
Turn the brakes down just a little bit. Didn't do good at that corner. Up that last corner a little bit.
Well done, mate. This has been your personal best.
Yeah, about what I ran yesterday. Could have done better, actually, if I wouldn't have blown that last corner. It's a weapon. It's a weapon for sure. Well, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt as far as it being faster. And it's going to be faster too because you don't have to carry as much fuel. So it's the best on fuel mileage out of all the cars I've seen. So again, not going to really do anything with the setup because I already got this, you know, not going to get involved with that right now. Today, we can work on this some more tomorrow, get things more dialed in. But I can leave links to all these in the description. This is the stock. I can tell this is just aggressive. I haven't. These are really stiff. Look at that. Look at the bump stop rate. 2,400 on the back. So that's wow. So yeah, I mean, just I haven't messed with any of these. So this is kind of like the other setups, just basically roughed in. But it's good. You know, it's definitely good. So again, it's gonna be a tough car to beat. Let's look at the replay. I want to look at the speed on that last lap compared to the other cars. Oh, 1 mile an hour more. So it did 154, and the Porsche and the Lamborghini did 153. Well, that's okay. I mean, mile an hour is not that big a deal, especially on a track like this. And of course, that's with the lower wing. If you max the wing out, I don't know, it might go up. You never know. You can get better drive off that last corner. I love all these GT3 cars. Even though I don't like the rear end of the Ferrari, it's still a nice car. Love the front. The front looks awesome. It's the only bad thing. Probably going to have some of those Ferraris in front of me. They're so fast, and it's really not the best looking rear end to look at. I'd rather look at an Aston Martin or a Lamborghini or just about any car. Rear end of that thing is about as boring as you can get. So stable, very stable platform. I appreciate everybody that that's followed and come along for this stream, and I appreciate it. Look at that great car, great car. I could again I could do this until my arms fell off. I love it, but again I'll probably come back tomorrow. I hope you look for me tomorrow morning sometime. I'll try to come on so I can work on some more setups or do something else. We'll have to see. I do have a video coming out, a race today at Monza that you might want to check out. It is something that's interesting. And, with some of the things that are going on with the tire wear and all that, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't. I really would appreciate it. No, I have not tried the Honda, but we can. We will, maybe on another stream I will try the Honda. Come back, RJH. I will try it. Make it a priority to try one. I tried like 4 or 5 different cars yesterday. Different tracks, different cars, older cars. So I did a lot of different stuff. So again, I can try the Honda. But again, I appreciate it. Again, share, like, subscribe, all those things. I really appreciate it. All your support. And again, I really enjoy talking to everybody, all my sim racing friends. It's not just words. I really do mean it. And I hope you come back and you visit again really soon. All right? Y'all take care. See ya.